Hi guys, welcome back to episode 4 of The Sims 3 World Adventures. We just got back from China and Kevin is making his way back home here in Sunlit Tides. We just want to look real quick. When we left to go to China we had about $5,000, but we actually picked up quite a bunch of items in our travels there. So we're going to start looking at what we can actually sell off and see how we actually did. Now, a lot of times I will keep some of these items because you never know if they're going to come in handy on a later quest or adventure. But there's some things that I know we don't really need, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. All right. So let's go ahead and stop here and not waste his time. Tell you what, first thing I'm going to do is get him started on his martial arts. This is a skill that now that we've got a couple of days before we can actually go back, we need to get him working as quickly as possible. Let's go ahead and take out at least one of these trees. I hate taking them out, but we don't have a whole lot of room left in this backyard. Love the location. I like the view. It's just a very tiny place. Alright, we're going to let him start on the training dummy, and once he gets his levels up, we can move him over to the board breaker. Take him out of pause. Okay, I definitely want to keep his dried food, and I believe we were looking for the mercury at the last bit. I'm going to keep that. This Chinese vase is actually something we want to keep. It's one of the major collections, and while I was in this mode I should have gone ahead and pulled this out. This is the chest that we bought, and in the house, it is a small house, so we don't have a whole lot of room, but this spot right here is usually just perfect for it. Okay, we'll go ahead and take the board breaker out so that we'll have it whenever it's time. And as for the rest of this, I believe those are the things that came from the online gifting. Okay. So while Kevin is getting ready to start his martial arts, we will go ahead and move some things into the chest. The Chinese vase, one of the 8, we need to keep that. And of course the symbol here, the relic that we got from that first tomb, we definitely want to keep that one. Everything else, it's pretty much, we don't need any of this. These are the money bags, and let's see how much we actually are going to get from this. Okay, we made $1,000, so that's not too bad. Any of the gems, I could hold on to them if I wanted to, but I normally just go ahead and sell them. The rocks, I'm going to hold on to for right now, just because we might get a reason to use it again. Oh, it's only $38 if I sell it. I'm going to hold on to this one just because we get this request quite a bit in China to get these. So, alright. Other than that, we did bring our little stolen radio back from China, so let's go ahead and pull it out of here and just put it in the house. It's the cheapest one you can get, so it didn't really matter. Now, his martial arts, the best thing to do is, of course, the only thing you can do really is start with the training dummy. But as soon as he gets leveled up, and I believe it's level 2, you want to switch him off of the training dummy and get him over to the board breaker. And there's a reason for that. You get a challenge that goes with it, and you can start leveling up the skills and making the challenge. The training dummy really doesn't help you anymore. It'll still work on getting your skill up, but we definitely want to get him to where he can break a space rock. And the only way you're going to do that is start practicing on the board breaker. So let's see if he can actually do that. He's just about to level up to level 2. All he knows how to do is gamble. Well, he did. Okay, very good. Alright, he's learned the skill. We do need to get him in the gym. He can actually spar with somebody. I shouldn't have probably saved it. He won't be able to spar with anybody until we go back to China. Okay, so I guess it's going to be a level 3 that he can actually use the board breaker. Okay, his needs wise, he's going to need the bathroom pretty quick, but not too soon. Okay, I'd like for him to do this a little quicker, but while he's doing that, let's take a look and see some areas we're going to go. Oh, he did. He got his athletic skill. Very good. We could actually take him out a little bit later. I do want him to start meeting some people in the town. So right now, I don't think he knows anybody. No, everybody he knows is from China. So we do need to actually get some friends here in town. We could actually go, if it's still daytime, well, it's already 3:30. Maybe by the time he's ready, we can actually take him out to one of the hangouts here. Maybe there'll be some people there. Okay, great. He's a little over halfway to level 3. He will wear out, and then he can't do anything athletic for a while. But what's great about the martial arts is once you get him to level 5, he can start meditating. And then when he wears out and he's exhausted, he can switch over and just start meditating, and then he's fine. He can actually continue working and getting his skill just a little bit higher. But in the beginning, it's just, I like to do this really quick. I like to see if I can get him leveled up as quickly as possible. The sooner you do it, the better you're going to have your chances when he gets to those tombs that will actually require it. One thing I also do sometimes is I will take him over to China just for a skill building trip where he'll just go over for a few days, he'll work out, he'll do his martial arts if he's running behind, and we won't really do any adventures. It's just one of those get him leveled up so that you don't have to waste any time in town doing it. Alright, at this point, he can now switch over and start breaking the boards. So we're going to start with the foam board. If you start too heavy, if you go with one of the harder boards, he will get injured and then he won't be able to do any kind of working out. So you always start with the foam board. He'll put it in layers, and as soon as he can break about 5 of those boards, then you should switch boards and move him on up. Okay, I guess he's a yellow belt. And he probably won't get much out of this one because he's pretty tired. And pretty smelly. Alright, as soon as he's done, let's go ahead and have him take care of his needs here. And yeah, his social, he's going to start getting a little upset if he doesn't meet some people and start talking, interacting. That's the one nice thing about having the job, because he'll actually start building those relationships. But when you're traveling, it can kind of come in, it can work both ways. I've done it with job and without. Okay. He's doing pretty good here. I would actually have thought that he was going to get too exhausted. Now, the one thing you probably notice, normally it says you have 2 days until you can go back to to visit another country. Because he has the adventurous trait, he can go a little bit quicker. So he only has to wait 24 hours. And that's pretty nice. Actually, it's I think a little bit more than 24 hours. But at least you can start going back pretty quick. He's got, I believe that's 3 boards now. The different types of boards, of course, the balsa wood, that's not going to help us. It's actually anything that's an oak board or higher. Those are the ones that are going to help. So as soon as we can get him hitting the oak boards, we're going to start earning towards our challenge. You also need to start sparring as quickly as possible, because the more you spar, the better your chances of actually winning the fights. And when you want to go up against the mummy, you definitely want a good chance of winning the fight. Okay, he's a little worn out there, so that's good. Alright, when he gets finished with taking care of his needs, we're going to need to go ahead and make sure he gets something to eat. I say we take him out, and this is the diner is actually, I put in a different diner. I put in one from Barnacle Bay, so why don't we just go to that one over here. It's a little bit closer. I mean, none of it's really that close, but it's actually right here. Still doesn't know anybody, but that's okay. And okay, we paid the bills before we left, so we're good. Oh, he really needs to take care of that. I do have a habit, sometimes I will forget that I need to let him clean up. Sometimes the Sims will do it on their own, and sometimes they won't. If you have a neat Sim, they will always take care of cleaning up their dishes. But it's just something I tend to forget. Okay, he's got this this wish right here to break 5 boards. That's great. You're going to get this quite often. It's a good way to just keep building up your skill and building up your points. And so far he's got, wow, getting closer to 8,000 points. That's great. Okay. If he will take his motorcycle, we will get over there pretty quick. Again, that's his backyard, and that's why I like this house. It's just a great location for him. I would like to live there, but that's okay. I lose him in all these trees, so I'm going to get right back on him a little bit. I do like the sandy roads, and I love these lampposts that are in the all around the island. It's just really nice, and every one of the rabbit holes have been redesigned, so they're all, of course, brand new. This is actually the diner that came with Barnacle Bay. I just took it out, and I didn't do much with the landscaping. I was just wanting to get it in there quickly, but I thought it kind of fit for the theme. It's still in the island theme, and it's got all the lights and everything. It just kind of seems like a tacky tourist type of place right here on the edge of this small lagoon. So I thought it worked. Again, I don't do a whole lot of building. I usually like to use whatever's there. But this one it was pretty easy. Just put it down and go. Alright. When he gets finished there, he is a little tired, but we still need to get out, and I'm going to take him over to one of the new hangouts. I did change the hangouts so that you can actually either eat there or you can get something to drink as well. And we're going to go here to the hotspot. He's almost done with his dinner. Let's go ahead and speed it up so he gets through. Alright. You'll notice, if you haven't played for very long, I've got a few friends who are just starting to play, so I try to help them out with some little tips here. But anyway, if you go to a community lot, you give yourself a little bit of time there, pretty much a lot of people from the town will start to show up. So it's like you're a magnet for everybody, but you have to actually leave your house for them to start coming around to you. Alright. And in here we have, of course, another, we got 2 days to the next full moon, which I've never experienced a full moon here in Summit Tide, so that ought to be interesting. Alright, this is the hot spot, and I'll go ahead and put the walls back up. Just a little outdoor bar. Let's go see who is actually here. Alright, let's just go ahead and introduce ourselves. Oh, he wants to sleep right there. No, Kevin, you're not going to go to sleep there. You're close enough to go home. You can do that. Okay, he's a little bit too tired. He probably ought to just... Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, he is definitely out. Come on, Kevin, wake up. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take him home and let him get to bed. I'm going to cut out here, and when he gets up and he's rested, we'll get up and pick back up with this episode. Alright guys, we're back, and he just got up. He got everything taken care of as far as he had breakfast and went to the bathroom. We did get an opportunity. He needs to work on the board breaker for 2 hours and then go back to the science facility. And it's going to help him actually get, I believe it's compensation, but I know it said it will increase his martial arts. I've never gotten that opportunity before, so I figured, hey, let's do it. Might as well. We're going to be doing it anyway. Plus, his social meter was getting pretty low, so I had him call Ding Wang. That's the special merchant back over in China. I figure he's going to need to get to know him pretty well. We're going to be interacting with him, so if we can't meet anybody in town, we'll just have to go with whatever people that we know. Alright, looks like something came. It shouldn't be any bills, but... Oh no, that's the paper boy. So I don't think we have anything to worry about here. Yeah. He still wants to have a job. I don't want you to work. Okay. Alright, Kevin, that's enough. I think, well, almost done. And looking at the time, we've got about 7 hours until we can actually go back to China. So I'm going to get him a little bit more skilled up in his martial arts, and then we will head back out. Oh, we're going to miss the full moon, but that's okay. It'll be there when we come back, so that's fine. Now, I switched it up. I don't remember if we were on 5 boards or not. I think we were either 3 or 4, but I went ahead and bumped him up. So maybe a bad thing. He may get hurt, but we'll just give it a try. These little plants here that they've got, they're really nice, these big ferns, but they can get, actually these over here, they can get really, they can block a lot of things. You can actually lose your sim, so I have to remove some of them every once in a while depending on where we're at. But these small houses with small lots, you really don't have much room. You have to start taking away some of the landscaping. Alright, you go ahead and keep practicing. Let's take a look out over here. Again, this is what I love about it, and I can't wait till they can actually go in the ocean and see how everything actually works with that. Oh, looks like we've got one of the starfish over here. If I can get up there, my mouse is not wanting to cooperate at all. Of course, you can't really interact much with it. You can actually, oh, you can skip stones. We haven't done that before yet. Okay, now he wants to join the military career. Not gonna happen. Okay, that should get him up to a level 3, but he needs to work for 2 hours, and so far he hasn't quite made it yet. Would love to actually be able to take him over there and level up his skill a little bit higher before we leave. I don't think we're going to get any kind of adventure that's going to make it a big deal if we're not at a higher level. But there is one where it's going to make you reach level 5, the martial arts skill, and you have to meditate for a few hours. So it's better if you already have that level 5 hit before you get back to China. Again, I don't know if it comes up that quickly. Okay, with the balsa wood, looks like he's doing two boards at a time now. So we're getting there. The next step up, of course, will be the elk board, and that's what I'm trying to get. The martial arts skill does move pretty quickly in the beginning. Once you hit level 5, just about like every other one, it starts to slow down. It takes a lot longer to actually level them up to those higher levels. Oh my goodness. Now the reason I like to get the board breaker is that when he does meet friends, if he does get married, he can actually have somebody else start training on that, and then they can spar together. So I played the game 2 different ways. I played it where I just trained him in China and then just brought back the board breaker only. But this is the only other way that I can get people here that will actually be able to spar with him. When he goes to China, everybody has the martial arts skill, so he can spar with anybody he runs across. So that's why every time we go there now, we're probably going to try to at least get in a little friendly spot. Okay, he can report in, so before we do that, we do want to get him cleaned up. What? I think he's at level 4, isn't he? No, he's still level 3. And as far as traveling, we've got about 4 hours until we can go back. The martial arts skill also works on your athletic skill, so rather than just working out and going to the gym, I just really hit the martial arts more than anything because he's going to level up in athletics while he's doing it. It actually levels up slower, but once he gets this mastered, then we switch over and start working on his athletic. And he shouldn't be too far behind. Now, if you don't really want to deal with going through the martial arts, but you're still kind of concerned about the mummies are slow, and you can get away from them. But also, once you get to Egypt and France, you can buy something that will attract the mummies, and they'll leave you alone. Can't do it in China. They don't sell it. So that's why I try to go ahead and make sure that he can actually take care of himself if he happens to run across them. The mummies will only do certain things to you. They will either scare you and you'll pass out. That's hopefully the best that's going to happen. Of course, if you can beat them, then you will actually kill them, or you'll destroy them. And then the worst thing that can happen to you is, of course, they could curse you. And if you get cursed by the mummy, then you will have 14 days, and your sim, if they don't remove the curse, would actually die. I've only had him cursed twice, and to lift the curse is actually pretty fun. It's a tomb you have to go through, and there's a whole sequence of events, and you go up, and really, I love the entire animation that comes with it. So getting cursed really isn't a bad thing, but it is just a nuisance. It kind of slows you down. But you're gonna end up doing that tomb anyway, so if it happens, it happens. But you can't lift the curse unless you go to Egypt. Alright, so he is going to be going to the science lab, and I remember seeing the science lab. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so it's just down the street from him. So hopefully by the time he does that, it'll get closer and we can actually go ahead and get him back to China. I'm just really curious. I want to make sure that he gets the next adventure. That I know we've got one already locked in, but yes, I think we do. Yeah, he's still working on one there. We need to get one more vial of mercury. Okay, Kevin, you needed to go to the science lab. If you have pets installed, they always love to tear up your newspaper. I normally cancel the newspaper. I just keep forgetting. You'll notice the sound is back on the motorcycle, but that's because I did shut out of the game and I came back in. So I think that's really what it has to do with. I think once you travel, it just loses the sound in the new place. So at least that's my theory. I'm going to go with it until I'm proven wrong. This is the science lab. Very different from all the other science labs that you normally see. I do like it. It all has this very tropical feel, of course. But I like the fact that everywhere you have somewhere to go out and sit. You've got the telescopes that you can go out here and look. So it's a very nice job here. And across the street, that is the bookstore. I'm trying to think. Normally, if I do take him over for one of those trips where we just do some training, I will load him up on several books so that he can not only train his athletic or his martial arts, but then he can be working on either logic or cooking or whatever other skill he might need. Pretty much gardening you might need as well, because there's a few adventures that are going to require you grow something. I don't always take them. Sometimes I just skip out on those. Okay, his moodlet is gone, so he can actually travel. He's still got about 6 hours until he can work out again anyway. So as soon as he gets finished with this, we're going to see what it does for his skill level. He was close to level 4, and by doing this he's supposed to increase his skills. So let's go ahead and speed him up through this activity and see where we end up. Looks like the sun is just about to set here. Okay, he got 500 simoleons, and he did hit his level 4. Very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we can get into in China. We've got a little over $5,000. We've got actually 5,569 simoleons, and it's about where we were before in the first trip, so we're doing okay. Alright, we can actually go now for 5 days, and this time it's going to cost us $1,500, which is not a bad deal. And so we'll get him on his way. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and wrap it up at this point, and then in episode 5 we will actually start off on our next adventure in China. So I'm sorry, there wasn't a whole lot going on here. It was just basically getting back, getting rested, and recovering, getting ready for the next trip. So please join me again for episode 5, and if you like the video, please like and please subscribe. Leave any comments if you want to see something, and just let me know what I can do. I will talk to you all soon.